welcome to Swindon Live and Local on Swindon 105.5 with myself, Sean Hodgson, together with
Stu Jackson. And in the studio today we've gone all fringy. We have Joni and Callum from Bear Dog and Rob G as well, who are all performing at the Vic tonight. So say hello, everybody.
Hello. Oh, actually, we've got more fringe in the second half of the show as well, because Stu was out the other night chatting to two of the main organisers behind the event, Molly and Matt, at the opening night. Is that the Steam place, is it?
That's the one at the Steam, the 175 Heritage Night, yeah.
And so they'll be chatting to us just to get a feel for how it sort of set off, really. I hope you've all been out there supporting this wonderful event, 10 days of theatre here in town. Because it doesn't end there, because in the second hour of the show, we've also got Fenella Harrop Greenfield, who's from the Harold Jolliffe sort of. Is it not mini plays?
It's the One Act Play Festival. One Act
Play Festival as well. Okay, so we've got definitely a lot more fringe, all sorts of theatre in the particular show today. Continuing here now, we've got a bit of music. This is with I Told You So, and this is from the Blowbacks.
With If I Told You, but their Facebook page has been a bit blank lately. What's happening?
Well, one of them actually lives in Farringdon where I live, and I keep bumping into him, but
Well, ask him if they're recording, are they gigging, what's going on? Let's hear from
lazy, I think that's the word to put it, really. Lazy. Lazy Blowbacks.
Not the lazy Sunday afternoons, just lazy.
No, I don't think they do lazy Sunday afternoons. Their gigs are not lazy gigs when they get playing, I can tell you that now, but no. Lazy in studio time, so I don't know. They're probably going to shoot me for saying that. I better not bump into him again now in Farringdon, are they? He'll avoid me like the plague, won't he now?
He'll trip you up.
He will.
Now it's time in the show for a bit of this.
Okay, it's time for the musical medley montage. 5 bands, 5 songs. Name the band, name the song.
Yeah, you know how it works. Only 5 artists, 5 songs. Who's this lot? There we go, 5 artists, 5 songs. I think they were all introduction. No, one of them was a bit of the middle bit there, so it wasn't all introduction. So I'll perhaps turn to our guests first. If you, without shouting out the answers, if it's marks out of 10, 1 for the artist and 1 for the song, how many points do you think you could be going to give yourselves at the moment?
I'll probably get about 3.
3. Okay,
I'll
Callum.
be blazing a trail with 4 at least.
4.
I don't know,
Oh,
I
that's
think I'd maybe
fighting
go
talk.
for 5 myself.
Oh.
I think I could maybe do 5.
Hang on, you just said that because it's gone 3, 4, 5, haven't you? Are you
That's-
genuinely saying
I
because
genuinely think that I would
we
get 5.
will be
there.
holding you to this.
Okay.
You're not gonna. You can't just claim numbers. You know. You got to.
It's an educated guess.
An educated. I like
But
an educated
it's-
guess. Are you an educated person? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, I guess that way. I guess like an educated person.
Okay.
But you are
Sounds-
educated in music, so.
No, but that. Spent 4 years of your life learning how to put stuff on shelves at Tesco's, and that's what you get called educated.
Expectations are high here. Anyway, so we will be repeating that a couple of times throughout the show, and if you hang around. Right, you can give you some clues, which usually you go one way or the other way, don't they, Stu? I don't know which way. Sometimes they
Yes.
help you, don't they? Occasionally, in some respects.
Well, yeah, sometimes they help because I work out I've got it completely wrong.
Oh right, okay, so, all right. Anyway, we will repeat that a couple of times throughout the show. You're listening to Swindon Live and Local on Swindon 105.5. We're talking Swindon Fringe, which is now halfway through the Fringe, last 3 or 4 days. And in the studio with us at the moment to start with, we've got Bear Dog production company coming up from Brighton. And so we've got Joni and Callum, and they're here to talk about a one-woman show. It's described here as Do You Mind About Dating and Anxiety? Is that the right way you're describing it?
Yeah, anxiety, as in the mental health problem, and it's all about trying to find the right words to tell someone that you kind of like and kind of want to impress about having a mental health problem.
Oh right, it's not that. It's not the anxiety of going on a date then.
Oh no.
Oh, I
well,
see.
It is, and then the added medical grade anxiety that a lot of people suffer from, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's about 1 in 10 people have clinical anxiety, and I am one of them.
Okay. All right. So that's the back. So you based some of the ideas, presumably, of the play on some of your background, your knowledge of the subject matter. Then.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's very honest. It's very about my own experiences and how I've tried to tell people, different ways that I've tried to tell people, and trying to kind of culminate into this one chance that I've got with this person that I'm on a date with, to tell them the right way so that they don't think I'm weird or all these what ifs that you kind of get in your head. But I think like everyone has that one thing that they know they want to tell someone to kind of get it out of the way, especially with like the rise of like online dating. You kind of present this really positive, very edited version of yourself, and then you have to remember that you've got flaws. And when does that person find out?
So it's about setting a level playing field, so you both know enough about each other as early as possible. So it's like there's nothing hidden away.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for like everything, but my condition is quite not important to me, but it's a feature in my day, in my daily life, and it was kind of a, well, you probably should know, because if you're offended, or not offended, but if it bothers you, then we both know where we are with that. And I think that's, having that honesty can be quite, it's scary, but it is quite useful, actually, to just go out and say, this is me. If you want to deal with it, deal with it. If you don't, there's the metaphorical door.
Okay. Well, that's about the background, how you created the play in this way. But what we're going to be actually get to seeing in the production itself? What's actually? I mean, that sounds quite a serious subject. Is it a serious, deep, meaningful production, or is it dealt with in a light-hearted, humorous way, or how do you put it across on stage?
I would say that it's quite light-hearted, because it is, because you kind of have to go throughout your day having those light-hearted moments, and then there are those deep moments as well. But I'm a trained performer. I'm also a puppeteer, so I use my skills that I've learned from puppeteering and from performing to try and get this message across. So I think it's quite funny, but then that's just me. And of course, having anxiety, I'm now thinking, no, it's not. Why did you say that? You've now told the whole of Swindon.
It is quite funny.
Well, that sort of brings this question. Somebody who suffers from anxiety, to put yourself on stage as a one-person play, I mean, you are putting yourself through it here, aren't you?
It's a glutton for punishment.
Because you've got nobody else to fall back onto, have you? There's nobody else there.
Oh no, what can I do?
Have I only just pointed that out to you?
No, because as I've said, I'm a performer. I've done this for years, and yes, it is scary, but there's kind of that trope of performers and people in the arts having mental health problems. And actually, there was a really interesting blog on the Royal Shakespeare Company about I think it was an actor called Byron Mondal, I'm going to say, and he did a whole blog about saying how he once had a panic attack on stage, and this being a very the RSC is a very big company. And he wanted to start a conversation, and that was just this week. So, I mean, it's scary, and I've got a million ways of sorting things out, but I can't really see myself doing anything but performing. I really love doing it. You just kind of suffer for your art, to be very cliche about it.
So this particular production, is this new to the Swindon Fringe, or is this something you've been sort of touring with or taking around other places?
Well, we started last year at the Brighton Fringe, because we both, me and Callum, live in Brighton. We went to the Pleasance in London and did the Little Angel Theatre's Suspense Festival. And we're going to go back to Brighton into because we did the Free Fringe, and now we're in like a proper venue, a part of Other Place. So we're really excited about that. So it's one of those things. Just keep on touring about as long as people want to come see it.
And now Callum, because it's a one-woman production, but that doesn't mean it's only one person putting the whole thing together, is it?
Yeah.
So, well, what's your role in the production?
Well, I directed it. And I operate the show, so I tech the show. Because really what happened when Joni sort of said that she wanted to do this, we were talking about it and trying to work out how to structure all these little moments that she had, little points to get across, and little funny anecdotes and things, trying to put them all together. So it was really, my role was really to come in and sort of go, well, let's make this a show as opposed to a series of little bits, which is what's done. And, my background is in improvisational comedy. And so, looking at how you put things together, finding a pattern and a structure is sort of my bag. And yeah, I think I'm really proud of it. Really proud of it as a bit of work, and it's real impressive to see somebody go on stage and talk about something that they feel and have to deal with every day so open and honestly. And it's that thing of, when you were saying about what it's like to go and do a one-person show with somebody with anxiety, it's a great show for that, because there have been times, I know, when Jodie's felt really anxious on stage, and it's that thing of being able to go, you can just say that I'm feeling very anxious right now, and explain why, and that educates people even further if that happens. And it's a great tool for getting people talking about it as well.
We will remind people at the end where people can get to see it, but just tell people now, where is this production going to be held?
today.
Oh, just because it's today, yours, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
You've come from
tonight.
Brighton just for today, of course,
Yeah.
haven't you? Yeah. So what time is that going to be?
7, I think. I'm
7
I'm
at
fairly sure
Victoria.
7.
7,
Victoria.
And this is the Vic, isn't it?
Yeah, the Vic, yeah.
Right, okay. All right, so we will remind people towards the end of the show, so it's not just a one-off there. We're going to have a bit more music now. I've got Adam Barnes coming up from Oxford in a couple of weeks' time. In fact, he's going to be playing at the Vic as well. And that's going to be on the 14th of April. And this is a track of his called Green, from Adam Barnes.
'Cause my arms will die without your hands to lift, and your arms will lie parallel to his, and I won't be fooled as long as I don't hear that you have been whispering sweet nothings in his ear. And one of these days he'll screw up, and oh, you'll question love, and I'll be waiting there for you to wander back. 'Cause you deserve more than that. 'Cause you deserve more than that. Your pardon is thinking, oh, the fights he dragged you through, and I learned of his shortcomings when I got to lie with you. The ways that we differ and ways you can begin to bring back the green in your eyes, the sadness from your skin. And one of these days you'll grow up, and oh, you'll question a love that never fulfilled you from the start. It won't take long to mend a broken heart, deserves more than that. 'Cause it deserves more than that. You'll wait for a break, and the morning comes, and it feels like a burning, burning touch of the sun. It feels like broken glass, the shot of a gun. One of these days he'll screw up, and oh, you'll question love, and I will be waiting there for you to wander back. 'Cause one of these days you'll grow up, and oh, you'll question love. It never fulfilled you from the start. It won't take long to mend a broken heart. 'Cause you deserve more than that. You deserve more than that. You deserve more than that.
So that was Green from Adam Barnes, who you can see at the Vic on the 14th of April. But before then, at the Vic, of course, tonight you've got the Swindon Fringe and Joni and Callum from Bear Dog, who are up. Now, we were talking a little bit about where the show's sort of come from, but
Yeah.
what about previous shows that you've done, or is this your first major show?
Well, this is our first show together as a company, but we're both quite prolific performers. I've got a few other companies that I do puppetry with, and I did an MA last year, and well, Callum's been, I mean, you've been doing it for absolute years as well with improv for about how many years?
I've been doing improv for 13 years now, and then I'm a musician, so I went and studied music and everything as well, and done a bunch of bands and things like that.
Right, okay. So bringing all that experience, where's Bear Dog going? What's next after Swindon Fringe?
Well, we're at the Brighton Fringe this year at the Warren, which is other place kind of.
It's a pop-up venue for the month of May.
Yeah,
And
so
that's with this show.
This show, and another show that I do called Buttons with Sort of Theatre, which is about mine and my friends' journey we went to Auschwitz to kind of have a sort of a contemporary view of the Holocaust and how it still affects us today. But we've just started a new show called Guide Dogs for the Deaf, which is based on a myth, a Mesoamerican myth that when you died, you would be guided to the afterlife by a spirit dog.
Right.
And we're putting in some improv. Callum's directing again. We've got a performer called Thomas Yansis, who's sort of being an associate artist. And he plays a man who's just died, and I play all the dogs that guide him. So I've got a lot of puppet dog heads at the moment. Because we want it to be a different man and a different dog every performance, so that's where the improv.
It's an entirely improvised show.
Yeah.
Have you got different doggy voices then, have you?
Well, I did have like a Russian accent for a dog who was the first dog in space.
We've got to hear it. The very nature
no.
you said it, the very is that a trap you've fallen into? The very nature you said it, we want to hear a Russian accent.
I don't have the puppet with
Oh,
me.
well, that
It's
is
so
it.
important
I'll take my sock off and then you can. No?
No, it's
Oh,
not gonna happen.
dear,
I
yeah.
can't
Okay.
do it without her. Like, she's a proper dog in my brain. She's
The next time you do a radio interview and somebody starts going down, quickly change subjects, otherwise you're going to fall into that trap again.
No, I don't do any different voices. It's just,
All right, okay.
Okay. So do you have a website where people can see what you've got coming up? And
Yes, we
Where you
do.
can see it?
We're teambeardog.com, and then on Twitter we're Team Bear Dog as well, at Team Bear Dog, and then we've got a Facebook which I think again is Team Bear Dog, and we like to update it. I usually try and write a blog every week just to show where we're going. We like to really share what we're up to.
right, okay. And presumably people can find all the links for your social media
Yeah.
from your
From our
website.
website.
Yeah.
So-
And actually on Twitter today, Joni is live tweeting her anxiety about the
Levels.
show.
Right,
So we'll be doing that
okay.
on the drive up as well.
Okay, so listeners can see how you feel
See
about
how you
coming
feel.
into this
We just-
today. And,
just-
yeah.
Always find it funny that it's an anxious person doing a show about anxiety, and it makes me anxious to do it. So, just inspired by that blog that I mentioned, just kind of live tweeting my levels of anxiety. So I'm about, I'd say a 7, actually, right this moment, because I'm on live radio and I don't want to swear.
Okay.
No, we don't want you to swear. We'd lose our licence, and we don't want to do that. So yeah, we've also got also in the studio Rob G going to be talking very shortly. First of all, we're going to give you a first chance to listen to this week's mystery voice. See if you can work out who this is. It's quite short, so I'm going to play it twice for you. So this week's mystery voice.
31 is all we've heard about. 96 seem to be getting kicked into the long grass. We need to hear more from our government on what their level of commitment and their ambition really is.
That's this week's mystery voice. Without shouting the answer out, is anybody here looking around the room got any ideas? We've got Stu's nodding
have it.
confidently. Yeah. Joni's nodding confidently.
Yeah, there was like, yeah.
What about the other side of the room, guys?
No. No.
No, okay. So, all right. Well, we will give some clues in due course when I think of them. We're going to give her another chance to listen to this week's mystery voice.
31 is all we've heard about. 96 seem to be getting kicked into the long grass. We need to hear more from our government on what their level of commitment and their ambition really is.
He's male.
Yeah. It's not who I was thinking the first time.
Oh, so that initial nod has gone then? Is that
It
what
has,
you said?
yeah.
Oh, that was
Now
an overconfident nod.
Another
there.
idea, but I
Another
can't
idea.
remember his name.
Okay. Yeah. we will come back to that a couple of times throughout the show. So, also in the show, we're still sticking with the Fringe, still sticking with the Vic tonight up in Old Town. We got Rob G, who's got a production called Forget Me Not, the Alzheimer's Who Done It. So, Rob, that's a great starting point. Forget Me Not, the Alzheimer's Who Did It.
Yeah.
Go on, fill us in on the background on that one.
Well, it's a whodunit set on an Alzheimer's ward. Yeah, sort of like a whodunwhat.
So there's an investigator going and asking people, and people don't know the answers, or they didn't know the answers 5 minutes ago, but they don't know them now, sort of thing, you mean?
What it is...
Or have I just spoiled the plot?
No. Yeah, that's me done. No, it was... There's a guy, his wife's a long-stay patient on a dodgy dementia ward about 20 years ago. She dies, apparently of natural causes. He used to be a police detective. He smells a rat. He doesn't think it's natural causes at all, so he decides he's going to find out what's going on. He's going to investigate one last murder. Unfortunately, he also has early stages Alzheimer's, and so his memory is not robust. So it's a case worthy of the greatest detective mind, but he's all have to do.
So where's the background to this come from then?
I was a psych nurse for years. I worked for years as a psychiatric nurse in a variety of different settings, and this is Forget Me Not is one of a trilogy of shows that I wrote about psychiatry and mental health. There was a lot I wanted to say about dementia and our attitudes towards it, and I thought, what perfect mechanism for this than a full-on, no-holds-barred, bring your uncle whodunit, and that's what you get.
So who else is in the production with you then? How big is it?
Well, I'm the only one who's come here.
Hang on, dare I say, I could make some jokes about where's the rest of the cast.
I had a director who helped me to lift it off the page somewhat, and I wrote it, I performed it, she directed it, that's it.
So it's a
very portable show, yeah.
So it's a one-man show?
It's a solo show, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean you play various parts, or you
I
talk
played
through
15
parts?
different characters over the course of the show.
Sorry, I'm gobsmacked now.
It's an hour-long show.
You can hear me shutting up then.
Yeah, and honestly, Joy, I have to say, as a writer and performer, see, my ticket out of nursing, I spent 11 years on the acute wards as a psych nurse, and then my ticket out was the comedy circuit. I became half a singing double act on the comedy circuit. So that was all jolly. We just did really rude songs to audiences of drunk idiots, and me being one of those idiots, because I was doing half of the double act that didn't drive, so that was all peachy. And then I decided there was lots I wanted to say about mental health, but I don't believe in preaching at people or telling them what to think or trying to press on a message. I just thought I just wanted to entertain people, but there was a lot I wanted to say about institutional bullying, so Forget Me Not, the Alzheimer's Who Done It.
Okay, well I'll hear a bit more about that in just a moment. We'll have another piece of music now. This is Goodbye Sweet City. This is from Fred's House, who're coming over to play at Brewery Blues over in Cirencester this Friday. And if actually you go to our Facebook page, you'll be able to hear an interview from last week. So we recorded an interview with Vicky, the singer from the band. But anyway, this is Sweet City. No, Goodbye Sweet City. It always helps when you read your notes properly, really, doesn't it? Which I eventually do, eventually.
You're so charming. You had me charmed before I knew what to do. Thought I had you. Thought I had you all worked out. All worked out. Oh, I'll miss your pretty face. The rats get faster in this race, and I just can't keep up the pace anymore. Goodbye, goodbye, city. Goodbye, goodbye, my sweet city. Goodbye. sun don't set on Waterloo. The streets aren't paved with gold, it's true, and I can't take these lies from you anymore. Goodbye, goodbye city, goodbye, goodbye my sweet city, goodbye my sweet city, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye city, it's goodbye. It's goodbye, my sweet city. Goodbye, goodbye city, it's goodbye. It's goodbye, my sweet city. Goodbye, goodbye city, it's goodbye for a while, my sweet city.
Warning. This show contains a significant amount of nudity. But it's okay. It's on the radio.
And you're listening to Live and Local on Swindon 105.5. And just then you heard Goodbye Sweet City from Fred's House, who are playing the Brewery Blues this Friday the 8th. Now turning back to our guest again, Rob G. So you were saying that tonight's show at the Vic, that one obviously focuses on Alzheimer's, but
Yeah.
you're saying it's one of a trilogy, so what do the other two?
Oh, well, yeah, so I wrote 3 shows about psychiatry. So this one is the Alzheimer's Whodunit, Forget Me Not. And I wrote one called Fruitcake, 10 Commandments from the Psych Ward, and that's all about a psych nurse who is the voice of God, who for the purposes of the show is an elderly Rastafarian lady, and she gives him these benevolent commandments to help him through the shift and life. And the third one's called Icarus, and it's about a bloke who goes AWOL. He's pretty sure he's the reincarnation of an Egyptian pharaoh. He goes AWOL, and on his way to Egypt via the Tesco Express, he comes across his nemesis in the form of a very gobby 6-year-old girl, and they go on this lovely odyssey together. So yeah, they're the 3 shows really. You're only going to see one of them tonight, and the rest are great.
But if people really wanted to see the rest of them, do you have a website where you list all your
Thank you for asking,
shows?
Stu. Yeah. robg.co.uk. That's GEE is my surname. Be aware, there's also a very well-known American hardcore DJ called Rob G, exactly the same name as me. I've had very disappointed audiences, particularly in Western Europe, turn up to shows expecting they're going to get a night of banging techno, and no, it's me prattling on about mental health for a bit, you know.
Which is going to be better than banging techno.
Well, yeah, I suppose it all depends on how clean living you are, doesn't it?
Brilliant. So what are the next plans then after Swindon Fringe?
For me, I'm doing a couple of fringes. I'm doing a couple of UK fringes, Brighton and Barnstable and Plymouth, which will be quite jolly. And then I've got a 2-month tour in Canada, which will be Icarus, and then I think Adelaide and Melbourne in early next year. So that's all ticking over. Yeah.
Okay, so down in Brighton, will you be double billing with Bear Dog again, or?
I don't know. We're in the same brochure, but I don't know. Where's your venue in Brighton?
The Warren, Studio 3.
No, right, very good. I'm a comedian, so we're not. We are sharing a brochure. If not,
Very close.
Sharing a brochure, that sounds interesting, doesn't it, really? Yeah.
And as you say, people can follow your progress at robg.co.uk and presumably the social media, are you on those as well?
At Rob G Poetry on Twitter.
Okay. On poetry as well then?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it's a poetry show, yeah. So not only is it a solo show doing a whodunit in 15 different characters, I'm also a performance poet, so the whole thing's a slam poetry show as well. Don't let the poetry thing put you off.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not put off,
I
are we?
think that's all the
In fact,
information I need to give you.
we don't really
at this
cover
stage,
poetry much on the show, do we?
We like a bit of poetry, though. I mean, I can be a poet, but I'm not aware. Okay.
Another would be a scriptwriter again.
Yeah.
But we're going to give an opportunity now for our volunteer. The word volunteer is appropriate, isn't it, Callum? Is it for our 60-second challenge?
Sure.
Yeah, you're all warmed up for this, are you?
Yeah, oh, as warm as I can be.
You're relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll spoil that now. Anyway, have a listen to this.
Now you're in the spotlight. Are you beginning to sweat? Are you beginning to panic? All your friends will be listening. Can you take the pressure off? The 60-second challenge.
We do like to soften people up, make you feel relaxed, you see.
Yeah.
Put you in the right frame of mind for what's about to come.
Yeah.
But somebody who's, because you've got an improv background, you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
didn't you? So expectations are already high with your musical medley knowledge, aren't they?
Well,
So-
my perception is high.
Oh, perception is high. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, believe that. All right, okay. What's just let people know, it's the way it works, we're going to throw Callum a subject in just a moment, once I've thought about it. And for every time he hesitates, say the same thing again, or pauses, like that.
Yes.
We minus 2 points. So it's negative points. Once you get to the minute, which you don't need to worry about because I've got the stopwatch, you just basically keep talking. We stop at each time you do one of those things, then we restart the stopwatch. But if you keep going beyond the minute, just keep going for every full 5 seconds beyond that minute, we give you 5 points.
Yeah.
So that's where you get all your points back and hopefully go forward. And what's the scores on the doors at the moment then, Stu? Where are we headed?
It ranges quite a bit. So far between Leon from Tess Wilson Band back in January, who is our lowest scorer so far at -10, all the way up to +9. But we've got 2 people who've achieved this, so it's like joint first. And that was Sylvia Hunt back in the end of March, and there was someone else, here we go, back in February, Joe from Go Moriarty Band.
Right, so 9's your target, unless you think, stuff this, I'm going to beat the bottom target. Depends which target you want to aim for, really, doesn't it? Really?
Great.
Yeah.
Nice to have options.
It's nice to have options.
Either way is a record.
Great.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. See, we want records. We want records broken, really. Yeah. Okay. So your subject is going to be why I enjoy being an improv actor, starting now.
Well, there's a lot of reasons I enjoy being an improvising actor, and I think it has to start with when I first tried improv, because I started doing improv because my brother was an improviser, and he took me along to a group called the Edinburgh Improverts in Edinburgh. So I went there as a 12-year-old, and that's quite an intimidating experience, being 12, and there's a lot of...
12. I think that would be something earlier. I wasn't sure. I think he was very good.
Edinburgh was mentioned.
Was
twice.
it really?
Yes.
Oh, well done. Shout it out. You should shout it out. You can't let them get away with things, you know.
With the stopwatch. Though.
No, you can still shout.
You're the
Anybody
score
can
master.
shout out. Anybody can shout out. This is the stress point, you see. Want to put them under a lot of stress. Anyway, continuing with your subject, starting now.
So there was a lot of older people who were clearly funny, and when you're in that situation, you don't really have your own established sense of humour. So you're flying blind, and I just distinctly remember at the end of this first workshop I did, I made some joke about, I think it was about being shanked.
About.
Tough.
It wasn't
Is that stress?
Yes,
Really
yeah. But you can say any of the words in the subject matter.
Yeah.
And you can normally say ifs and buts and nods and all that, as long as you don't say too many of them.
Sure.
But about was just a bit too much. It wasn't my scale anyway. It is harsh, isn't it?
Well, I'd rather it was harsh so I can get good at it.
I like the attitude. I like the attitude, so I can get good at it. It was 38 seconds anyway. Continuing with your subject, starting now.
So I did that sketch and got a laugh, and that just lit me up inside. And so since then, I've just been chasing that buzz really. And at school, I wasn't very popular, I wasn't very funny, but I would always come.
You did say funny quite early on, right at the very beginning. The word funny was definitely mentioned.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where, but it was definitely there. Yeah. So 51 seconds. Getting towards the end.
Yeah.
Continuing with your subject, starting now.
So, improvisational acting was really a way for me.
Oh, hang on. You've had improvisational.
That's what you asked me.
No, it's improv. I said improv in the title.
You said improvisational, and then I used improv.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say.
Yes.
Sean did say improv.
Did you say improv?
I did, yeah.
It's an abbreviation of the same word.
I know it is. I know.
I'm all for harshness, but that's
No. You can use improv as many times as you want, but if you use improvisational, you've
There's some
already used
variables that we've failed to nail down.
Yeah, this is. Can I have the rule book in advance next time, please?
Rule book. You're looking at the rule book.
But then
You're looking at the rule
You've
book.
got more to merchandise then, guys.
I think the BBC might have done that one already. I must admit. Anyway, but we are in negotiations with them. Anyway, you're up to 56 seconds. Continue with your subject, starting now.
So that was a way to really establish who I was as a person. So when I moved to Brighton, I got put in touch with an improv group called Off the Cuff, and so they were friends with my sibling, who had got me into it to start with, and so I got into them and I started doing shows.
Got me into. You just said it back to back. Oh, I know. It's harsh, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll never do this again, will you?
I'll do it constantly when you're reason to come back.
What have you started?
Yeah.
Well, you're up to 1 minute 12,
Oh.
so that means you got 2 lots of 5,
Yeah.
which give you 10 points.
Okay.
But what were the negative points, Stu?
Well, as well as gaining 10 points, you lost 10 points. So you're on 0, which means you're not on a negative. So that's good. That's an achievement. Well done.
That's good. Yeah.
No, it's,
Bang in the middle.
my brother always told me second place is just first loser, so I'm horribly ashamed.
Oh, you're really not as high as second place.
Oh, yeah. If that's first loser. Oh, geez.
No, you're not first. You're not at the bottom of the pile. But let's have another bit of music now. This is some other wannabe, and this is from Lionel Lodge, who's from. Well, he's from everywhere. He's from Vienna, Ontario, and London. Played at the Beehive last summer, and he's got a new album coming out. So this is Some Other Wannabe.
Some other wannabe.
Sheriff in your garden and he's cursing your family name. He says his car's been stolen and he swears that you're to blame. He called the police who came dig up your pretty flowers in a row. When I asked you why they're picking on you, you said you really don't know. Yeah, but after they all leave, hell, you hand me steering wheel. Saying if I could do this little favor for you, you'll teach me how to kill. But I'm pretty bad, the world of politics, it ain't for me. Yeah, I think I got me mixed up with some other wannabe.
Some other wannabe.
TV in your shower just in case you get depressed. You give a priest under your bed just in case you feel the need to confess. You make your lover wear a muzzle, he just sits there on your lap. When you ask if I like him, I feel the setting of a trap. You say there's wine in the kitchen as you proceed to lock the door. You tell me not to be afraid as you bolt some cheese to the floor. But on a pretty bad world of religion, it ain't for me. Yeah, I think I got me mixed up with some of her my face like you're trying to steal my breath. When I look into your eyes, I see a lonely shadow of death. Yeah, you say you trust no one, is that no one trusts you? Yeah, but either way you don't care, and you say that you only rule. The police used to watch you closely till you're dead and pay the mob. Just keep on creeping in on closer, and I wish you'd stop. 'Cause I'm a pretty bad world of Hollywood, it ain't for you. Yeah, I think you got me mixed up with some other wannabe. Oh, no, I'm a pretty bad just ain't for me. Yeah, I think you got me mixed up with some other wannabe.
And that was Lionel Lodge with Some Other Wannabe, very bluesy track there, and he's got a new album out soon. Now it's time again to hear this week's mystery voice.
31 is all we've heard about. 96 seem to be getting kicked into the long grass. We need to hear more from our government on what their level of commitment and their ambition really is.
We've got one person in the room who managed to get that right. I'm going to give out the answer just now, but Joan, you definitely got it right, didn't you? You were on the money there.
Yeah.
Everybody else is throwing out all sorts of silly names. So what wasn't it? It wasn't Jon Snow, was it?
That was my second thought.
What was your first one then?
Boris Johnson.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
If it had stuttered and held back more, it might have almost been him.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, definitely. We're going to give you another chance to listen to this week's musical medley. 5 artists, 5 songs. Who's this lot? go, 5 artists, 5 songs. Stu's busily writing away. He thinks he's
scribbling away like mad.
So how many points are you going to be giving yourself now then? What have you done up to then?
Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I reckon now.
6. Were you helping him? Because I'll be honest, he's usually rubbish. He admits himself he's usually rubbish.
I like how you said usually. I'm always rubbish.
Well, I'm trying to be polite a little bit there. I'm trying to be a little bit polite anyway. Anyway, it's just time now for us to thank our guests for coming in. And so, Joni and Callum, good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great, thanks very much for coming. And Dave's all coming. Rob, sorry. Dave G. I know a Dave G. That's what it is. I know a Dave
It's
G.
not my dad.
It's not your dad. No, it's not your dad. No.
And
no,
Rob,
no.
also good luck for tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, one for both of you. You don't need luck. You're all professional. You know exactly what you're doing, don't you? You know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, it's great. Thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And we're going to go up to the news now. We're going to be back after the news with more Swindon Fringe stuff with a recorded interview Stuart did the other day, and a chat with Finella to talk about the Harold Jolliffe one-act play. I got it right
Festival.
in the end, didn't I? Festival. No, I didn't get it right. I failed. Anyway, we'll go up to the news. Here's Crockett theme from Jan Hammer.